order if you don't mind, and please stand and recite the pledge.
It's over there now.
Excuse me.
It's moved. I don't know why.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Everyone is here, Ms. Vaughn, except Ms. Lawson, who is infection and is on doctor's care with antibiotics. The agenda, there are two items that we've added, split classrooms under new business, and the superintendent search. We need to have a motion to hire TSBA. I asked Mr. Miller about that this morning, and he said that I had the ability to add those up to the time of the meeting. So I'm now entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Did we approve the agenda?
Got a motion by Ms. Fogarty. Who was the second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Robinson. Any further questions or comments? If not, if you'll please signify by raising your hand for the motion. Any opposed? All right. Is there anybody to address the board on an agenda item or a non-agenda item? Yes, sir.
My name is Dr. Howard Bennett, and I'm one of the original complainants regarding this Mr. Miller issue most recently. And we, as the parents who originally complained, are pleased that Mr. Miller will not be back. But I do feel I need to express a certain amount of disappointment, I suppose, that he was allowed to resign and not be terminated. In the original report that was done by, the original investigation that was done by Mr. English, Dr. English, excuse me, one of the things that was said was that he was going to be suspended, and if any of the issues came up again, that he was going to be terminated. Those words were in the report. Obviously, he wasn't terminated. Something more came up. We haven't gotten the second report yet. But one of the mission statements, or the mission statement of Tullahoma City Schools, the word that was used in there is integrity. And it just certainly doesn't seem a good example of integrity for our children, that we say that we're going to do one thing, but then we don't. We say we're going to terminate somebody, which has a certain connotation to it. Punishment, doing something bad, which obviously he's done. And to allow him to resign in lieu of termination, which, whether that's actually what happened or whatever, we know he's being investigated, we know he's resigned. Whether it was actually a statement of, hey, resign or be fired, we don't know. But it certainly appears that way to the general public. And I think it shows a lack of integrity that we didn't follow through on just terminating the man. And I think it also allows at least the possibility of him to go somewhere else and do this again. So, thank you.
Appreciate your comments. The report, the second report, I think is available at the front office tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Consent agenda. I'd like to pull off the minutes, but would like to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented otherwise.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Robinson. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Hill. Any further questions? If not, if you're for the motion, please signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? The minutes. Ms. Vaughn, you did compliment yourself. So if you'll return to the section that's following after the Clyde Smith Jr. Leadership Award recognition, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
I would entertain a motion that we accept the minutes as presented, except at that spot, I'd like the sentence put in, the board commended Ms. Vaughn for coordinating the reception for Mr. and Ms. Long, comma, and also for the extra effort required in moving the site of the board meeting. Does that sound all right there, Ms. Johnson?
Yeah, sounds good.
I will entertain a motion for that to be added to the minutes. Ms. Fogarty's got the motion, and Ms. Elston had the second. Okay. Any further discussion, comments? You see to it?
Yes, sir.
For the motion, please raise your hand. Any opposed? All right, unfinished business. Last night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up trying to think of something to worry about, and I realized that we had talked about TSBA being involved in the search, 2 study sessions, and also at the retreat. And we've got Ms. Grissom will be here to conduct a community information and to get an idea what the community would like to see, the characteristics of the new superintendent on December 3rd, but we have not formally okayed the hiring of them. So I would entertain a motion. Everybody's been presented the timeline for I believe it's the nationwide search, what they've listed at $6,500.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Fogarty. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Usleton. Any further questions or comments? Not. If you're for a motion, please signify by raising your hand. Opposed. Split classrooms. Mr. Hargrove.
I'm going to defer to Ms. Edens.
Thank you for allowing me to address. Let me tell you how this came about. Our kindergarten numbers are extremely high. We are at 23 children a classroom, okay? The highest in the system.
How many classes do you have?
3. I have 3 teachers with 69 children, okay? Very difficult to manage. And so this became, it's been creeping up, okay? We started at 19 and 20 per classroom, and it's gone up now. We're at 22, 23, and 24, okay? And so I talked to Mr. Hargrove, really feel like we need another teacher. That would be the best case scenario. He said that's absolutely not possible. So then came up with a second idea, which is certainly not what we would hope for, but it's better than nothing. And that would be take my first grade classroom, one of my first grade classrooms, and split it, and it'd be a K1 split. If I did that, what will happen is there will be 19 in each of the first grade classrooms, 19 in my 3K classrooms, and 21 in each of my first grade classrooms. What typically happens follows this year, we will have some more kindergartners come in, particularly in January. Typically have those that, oh, I didn't know they were supposed to be in school this year. So you usually have 2 or 3 there. So we're in a pickle. We're in a real bind. These ladies are amazing. And by the way, they just came today and said they wanted to come. That's the kindergarten and first grade teachers. They're amazing. But guys, they can't do anymore. They've got to have some help. We've got to have some relief. So again, if the K1 split is the best we can get, then I would love to have it. The way this came about is I tried for the teacher, told no on the teacher, came back with a K1 split idea, and then learned from Susan that does require board approval. So that's why we're here with it. Because I just came up here to see, if there are legalities I need to know about. I didn't want to move forward and then be put in the face. And then Susan found out that she said, you need to get board approval. So that's what I'm talking to you about. Okay.
Any more questions?
I'm a little bit confused. I thought that you all didn't want the additional teacher because of the confusion.
We want an additional teacher.
Because of the kids not wanting to leave the classrooms.
No.
No, they're going to have to leave the classroom.
Right.
If we were to get another teacher, because we thought through what we would do. If we were to get another teacher, what we would do is put them in that. You're talking about one pod area. You got 69 kids in there. But what we would do is we would probably put that other teacher in, probably with Mallory is what I would probably do. And it'd be a co-teaching situation since we're looking at a leave coming up for this wonderful baby that's going to be here. And so that way that would lessen the transition. I will tell you another concern I've got about the split situation. And it's good. We have 2 ladies that are adding to their family, which is wonderful. Yes. But when we split, Robin's room would be the room that will split, okay? Some of those children, what it will mean is they've been with Robin, they go to Amber goes out on maternity leave, and it goes to a new person. And guys, y'all know kindergartners. I mean, we're in a pickle. We're in a pickle, so anything you can do, you know, if...
What if we gave you the leeway? What if you have the ability to do the kindergarten first split, and if there were some children who could manage that? I feel like maybe we're thinking of this in like an all or nothing, or this or that maybe. What if it's maybe not that black and white? Could you maybe provide relief? And I'm not saying not to get another teacher, so please understand, I'm just asking, is there not a potential to move some kiddos in? If we still give approval for K1, it still maybe offers you some flexibility if you're like, well, we have these 5 that we feel like could, and that's going to kind of change some of the dynamic and help us.
Yeah, you can do it. I mean, ideally, you don't want to change a child at this point of the year. I mean, there's, you know that. I mean, kids get used to their teachers and that kind of thing. So yeah, we're willing to do whatever we need to do. What is immediate right now is there has got to be relief. And just point in case today, had a parent in the office, and, you know, they're precious children, but they're kindergartners. And
Well, the ideal situation would have been on the first day, the number stayed the same.
absolutely.
And I'm glad we're picking up stuff.
Absolutely. And trust me, but understand that most of the time those that come in usually come in with
Right.
a history. You know, a lot of them been to 3 or 4 different places. Like today, I was teasing Miss Brooks because she's in there with the parent, and she was like, well, I'll hold this one, I'll hold their hand. And she said, yeah, I'll try to hold their hand too. And I laughed, and I said, honey, you just have 2 hands. You know, I mean, you know, you can't even put them all around a little rug. You can't do the things in the classroom that you want to do with 23 class. You just can't do it. And so, can we provide them some education yet? Can we give them the education they deserve and we want to give them? And so the time's here just to plead for help. Thank you.
Is there a motion?
We are making a motion to split the classrooms.
That's what I would think. I believe that's what Mr. Hargrove's.
Is that your
I'm fine with either one of them. I don't
And this
think
is
that
for
was
the 1920 school year.
for this school year.
Right.
And what if with this vote, we understand that it is just simply trying to offer maximum flexibility? It is not pigeonholing maybe a certain decision, because I don't know that I feel comfortable saying that we should make that decision. I'm saying,
Right.
let's offer the flexibility for, you know, whatever game plan needs to work out. If we don't make this vote, then we can't split the classroom, is the point. But if we at least make it, then you've got that flexibility to include in a particular plan if a different plan comes up. I just feel like without doing it, I don't want you to think that the vote means that's the only plan, because it sounds like maybe there is still some flexibility for something else. So I think giving you the vote doesn't mean that that forces your hand.
If you don't mind, I don't think it's going to be wise to go to a flex, to do this, to mix them up and then to come back in 3 weeks and say, now you have another teacher, because then you're transitioning those children again. You guys, kindergarten children, it takes a lot for them to adjust. And so,
But on the other hand, if you have a further influx of kindergartners or some first graders, I can see where just leaving it open so that there are moving parts, instead of just saying, we are going to split the classrooms and that's it. I mean, we're saying,
I guess I'm just not understanding.
We don't vote on additional teachers,
right, I know that.
so that it
Right.
wouldn't even require
Right.
this requires that, but not
Right.
additional teachers.
But I think, if I'm understanding what you were saying, it's not that anybody is making a motion saying, I move that we
Right.
have split classrooms.
Right. Right.
Only, solely.
Right.
We are
That's what I was
saying
trying to
That would be an
add.
option.
that it is an option.
Right.
And, yeah.
I have a question, I'm confused. So you, as a board, don't vote on whether we can have a new teacher?
Correct. we
No,
don't.
and I've never stated that you couldn't have a new teacher.
Oh, okay, I would just like to know why
Yes, ma'am.
we couldn't have a new teacher.
No, I don't, that was never said.
Okay, so can we have a new teacher?
If that's the thing that was brought up in the conversation is the timeliness of it. And if at that time of the conversation, are we going to be able to get a kindergarten teacher in place here in the next 2-3 weeks, which you may or may not.
Uh-huh.
But that wasn't, the most immediate response was the split classroom.
Okay.
Thus, that's why it's on the board's agenda is the split classroom.
Right. My one concern that I have with the split classroom, it still leaves our numbers high-ish. I mean, 21, 22 in first grade and 19, 20 in kindergarten. And we typically get kids after Christmas. And then we're still at the same, point.
For those who don't know, this is Jenny Duncan, and she's a kindergarten teacher in the pod.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, kindergarten teacher. And I have been teaching, this is my 28th year in kindergarten. And I feel so strongly that early childhood kids, K-2, what they need is a person. And that's what they need, the attention of a caring adult. And, a lot of times we're putting money into technology and that kind of thing. They have iPads at home. I mean, almost all of them do. What they might not have at home is somebody who has the time, energy, ability, drive to talk to them and nurture them. So I feel so strongly about that the smaller the class size, the more excellent of an education you can give these kids. And if 24 in a classroom, yeah, we can do it. We can do it. It might be good. It won't be excellent. And Tullahoma City Schools has always striven for excellence, and I feel so good to be a part of a system that does that. So
I think that the concern I'm hearing Mr. Hargrove is like, there may not be a kindergarten teacher that we can get for any, y'all know the shortage. It's not a shortage, it's a stoppage, outage. And so if you all are like needing someone like
Tomorrow.
2 weeks ago, like the best option is the split. But because we don't know that whether or not we can get someone else. That is the big concern, because it was kind of a desperate situation.
And Kim, another thing that we have tried, and it is in place now, is an interim EA, that can utilize. But if we could just know that Mrs. Edens has the go-ahead to start searching, to search for a kindergarten teacher, then I think, that would be great.
And you have a spot for it?
Is there an interim EA there now?
Yes. Well, not an EA. We have a substitute that will alternate, and we did that for immediate help.
Right.
Trying to get someone processed as an educational assistant.
What would be
Right,
wrong
exactly.
with having a motion to authorize administration to make a decision for the best interest of Fair School up to hiring another teacher? And that would get you every solution.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I just wanted you to understand that this is a
We gave you-
vote for flexibility.
So we can say a motion.
Yeah,
As
to
we
do
can.
a split or to hire.
I would like that motion or another one to get going.
Sid?
See if I can remember this. I'll make a motion that the administration at Fair School have
Mr. Hargrove.
Mr. Hargrove, excuse me, to do what's in the best interest of the children up to hiring a full-time teacher. Is that correctly stated? Okay.
Do we have a second?
Oh, wait a
Second by
minute.
Ms. Fogarty. Any other discussion or comments?
One recommendation I'd make is that I think the issue here is split classrooms, and so the motion should authorize up to and include.
Yes.
Up to and include.
Split classroom. That gives him every option.
Right.
Any other comment, question? If you're for the motion, please signify by raising your hand. Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Miller. Superintendent's report. Mr. Hargrove.
We turned in the compliance report. That was earlier in the agenda. There were 2 items that we were not in compliance with, but neither one of those are areas where we don't have summer school and we don't have a virtual school this morning. So other than that, Thanksgiving week coming up next week, and I know everybody needs a break.
All right. I hope the letter from the Longs came around. It was a very nice thank you note.
I haven't gotten to read it, but I've got it.
And I think several of us talked at the convention that the possibility that we probably ought to have a study session in December. We've got several different topics. We put it off to January. I think it's going to be overloaded. What is the date of the first Tuesday?
The 3rd.
Is the 3rd.
Could we not wait until after
Yeah.
she has done the interviews?
Yeah. How about the following
Or the
Tuesday?
community
It should be the
visits?
12th mathematically.
Will be the 10th.
Excuse me, I've had 5.
All right, Pat, with the math.
This is just a study session.
You're doing that new.
That's some bad math
We don't
right
have
there. Like the 10th. How about checking with everybody tomorrow and see if that's okay? Is that all right with everybody?
That's Tuesday, December 10th.
That would be
And
regular time.
December the 3rd
5:30.
at 5:30 at the lecture hall will be the community meeting led by TSB.
Right, and we do not
do not
attend
go.
that.
We do not.
No.
That is for community and employees.
Correct. We need to get somebody from the high school staff to meet her. She knows.
Wait a second.
It's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday because wrestling, you have an obligation on Monday.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 2 months.
She's right behind.
See, okay, Ruth is here.
I am.
Ruth,
Yeah.
See, Ruth,
That's
we
okay, I wanna
cannot
make
see
sure.
you because you're right behind
pretty
Ruth.
nice body to hide behind. I'm sorry.
I think the only thing I had really that I think will be important for you guys is that last week the board voted to start movement on our Silver Street Park, which is between Eastgate and Ada Farrell Apartments, and we're really excited about that. I think it'll service our community and students over there significantly. I think that we have working with Los Design, an architectural firm, to build it, and we're starting with, we've allocated $320,000. You might know, Karen, what you're 340 towards that, with part of that being a grant that we've received and 180 from city funding. So we're really excited about that, and to move forward, I think that'll be really good for all the students here, and especially at East Lincoln. Other thing, after our study session, I connected Jason Wright with Miss Moody to talk more about tennis sports
All right.
and
Well, we're going to have a
Try-
maintenance meeting on
Yes.
this Friday, so that hopefully will be a topic then.
yes.
Okay.
So good. Because she's like, I'm happy to reach out to me so I can give your money.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody got anything else other than trying to find out how you can add 3 and 7 and get 12? If not, we are adjourned. Thank you.